The evidence is going to be such that you're going to reach the inescapable conclusion that Alec murdered Maggie and Paul, that he was the storm, that the storm was coming for them, and the storm arrived on June 7th, 2021, just like the storms that are heading here right now.
Spoke to Special Agent Croft on June 8th, 2021. Did you tell him and Special Agent McAllister who you thought you heard on that phone call at 8:40?
I did.
And who did you say you heard?
I thought it was Mr. Ellick, but I wasn't exactly sure.
Did you give him a percentage?
I did.
What'd you say?
99%.
That you heard Mr. Alec on that phone call at 8:40.
That's correct.
As time went on after the murders, did you go to Moselle where all the family and friends were gathering?
I did.
Were you there a fair amount?
Probably the whole part of later that week.
While you were there at the house where the family and friends had gathered, did anyone ever ask you about your last contact with Paul?
There was.
And who asked you?
Grandma.
And that being Miss Brandstutter?
That's correct.
Maggie's mother?
That's correct.
And what did you say?
I told her, yeah, that I talked to Paul about the dog, and told her that I heard Miss Maggie in the background, and I heard a male voice that I thought was Mr. Ellick.
Was he in the room then?
Yes,
Did he stand up and say, "No, I wasn't there"?
he did.
Did you ever have any conversation with Alec Murdough about what happened that night?
No, sir.
Did he ever ask you about whether or not you heard him on that phone that night?
No, sir.
Did he ever tell you what he did that night?
No, sir.
Did you ever ask him what he did that night?
No, sir.
Not a subject you wanted to talk about, was it?
That's correct.
Over time, as the months passed following the murder of Paul and Maggie, you were ultimately interviewed by law enforcement and other part of the process and that sort of thing, is that correct?
That's correct.
And as time went on and you were asked about who you heard on the phone that night, that call at 8:40, you said, "Hey, I thought it was Alec, but I can't be sure."
That's correct.
Told law enforcement the night of, 99% sure, correct?
Say that question again, please.
Told law enforcement the next day, June 8th, that you were 99% sure, is that correct?
That's correct.
As time went on, you said, "I thought it was Alec, but I can't be sure."
That's correct.
In November of 2022, did law enforcement ask you to come in and look at a video?
They did.
And did you watch that video?
I did.
And what was on that video?
It was the video. Paul was supposed to take a cash. Cash was on the video.
And did you recognize the voices on there?
I did.
Did you recognize the voices of your second family?
I did.
And what voices did you hear?
Paul's, Miss Maggie, Mr. Ellick.
And how sure are you now?
Positive.
100%?
That's correct.
The video, I want to ask a couple more questions. When you received that phone call from Paul at the kennels at 8:40 p.m. on the night of June 7th, 2021, did Paul sound normal to you?
He did.
Did he sound stressed to you?
He did not.
Did he sound like someone was there that he didn't know?
No, sir.
Did he sound worried?
He did.
Did you hear Maggie's voice?
I did.
Did she sound stressed?
She did.
Did she sound worried?
No,
Did she sound normal?
she did.
Did she sound like there was somebody there she didn't know?
No, sir.
Or that she was in danger?
No, sir.
Did you hear Alec's voice?
What I thought was his voice at the time, yeah.
Get it. Get that. Quick, Cash. Quick. Come here. Hey, he's got a bird in his mouth. Hey, Bob. It's a kitty. This is a chicken. Come here, Bob. Come here, Cash. Come here, Bob. Cash. Quick.
Is that the video you watched back in November 2022?
It is.
Where's that video taken?
At the kennels.
You recognize your dog?
I do.
You recognize Paul's voice?
Yes, sir.
You recognize Maggie's voice?
Yes, sir.
You recognize Alec's voice?
Yes, sir.
100%?
Yes, sir.
Can you point out Alec Murdough, the person whose voice you recognize in this video in this courtroom, please?
Sitting right there in the gray jacket.
Please let the record reflect he's identified the defendant. Thank you, Mr. Gibson. Nothing further.